get out the message about early detection, and so I was happy to do that and go on the air, 2 hairs on my head and such. And then when I was diagnosed just recently with MDS a couple of years ago, it was quite a blow because I thought that I had learned the lessons that I was supposed to learn through that first battle, and I was put into this other situation. And it just goes to show you that you have to take the time, and I don't know what the dreams and hopes of all the thousands of women that are there, and you're going to go through challenges. I went through challenges. Boy, when my mother passed away a few days before I had my transplant, I thought, that's it. I was down for the count. And I realized that if you don't take the time to understand the meaning of what you're going through, that's the tragedy. That is the tragedy, not what is happening to you. If you don't take the time to understand the meaning and the purpose, and that's something that my mother taught me very well. And so I was able to increase the bone marrow registry through my dear sister, Sally Ann, who was my perfect match, and everyone thinks that if you have a sibling or a family member, it's automatic, but it's only 30% of the time, 30% of the time that they're a match, so you have to rely 70% of the time for others to come through for you, complete strangers. But I am so grateful and so thankful. That's primarily why I wanted to be there today, to look at 10,000 eyes and just say thank you. Thank you for lifting me up. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for giving me the strength. When people say I have courage and that, and I look at them and say, people gave me this courage. It didn't come from anywhere else but people praying and believing, and I believing in that this too shall pass. And I am proud to be a symbol for everyone that this too shall pass.
I loved the morning that you came back, 174 days off the air, and you came back to a gorgeous celebration. Everyone's seeing pictures of the cake that Buddy made, and sort of lots of smiling faces with your sisters.
You like my head? Like my little bald head? I thought I had hair going on then, and I look at that picture and think, what? Good thing I have a good shaped head. That's all I have to say. I'm sorry.
Can you share with us one thing that you learned about yourself in those 174 days?
I learned something about myself, and something that we all should know. We are all just a little bit stronger. Just a little bit stronger than we think we are. I did not feel that at some point I was going to get through this last. It really, when I was in that hospital, after 10 consecutive days of chemo, my complete system was flushed, and before my sister's stem cells were inserted into my body, that we had to pray and hope that they would take. There were moments that I doubted what the outcome would be, and I just realized that we are all stronger. It's just like you just have to get to the next day. A lot of people, and I know someone on Twitter asked you last night, Tori, how do I keep my optimism in those really dark moments? And there was no darker moment than what I experienced soon after my mother passed, and I went into the hospital facing the transplant. And optimism is a muscle that gets stronger with use. It becomes a reflex, and I'm so grateful that I was taught that. And you have to change the way you think in order to change the way you feel. You have to change the way you think in order to change the way you feel, and that's what I learned through this past year. And when I got back to Good Morning America that February morning, it was, my goodness, it was a beautiful time for me. It was a real, but it's not so much what you accomplish in life, it's what you overcome that stays with you. So that's what I really want to stress. It's not the accomplishments, it's what we all overcome that really strengthens us and really makes us who we are.
So, speaking of those happy moments, you coming back on air, another really happy moment was very recently when you received from ESPN the Arthur Ashe Courage Award. And so we're looking at some pictures of you in that super sexy red dress with King James giving you that award. And before we talk specifically about one of the things that I liked most about that night, several people here in this hall and on Twitter Robin to tell us how does she get those jacked arms. So we see them in the picture, and we certainly see
These
them
old
on your right
things?
there.
Oh. What do you mean as I scratch right here? As I'm trembling as I'm doing it. You know, it's really, that Esky moment was so fascinating for me. My brother was there, my sisters were there, my girlfriend was there, all the people who mean the most to me were there. And you've never lived until you see your big sister taking a selfie on the red carpet with Tom Cruise. And I'm like, please, don't take a selfie with these people. Come on, act like you've been on the red carpet before. I am very grateful that I put myself in a position for some good things to happen to me by being health conscious. And I do yoga, I do Pilates, but I am just so really grateful that I know those things didn't prevent me from becoming ill. But if you take the time to just take a little care of yourself, it will not perhaps prevent you from an illness, but it does help you in fighting that illness.
So the line from that night that was trending on Twitter, that everybody was talking about the next day, the next week, was when you said, when fear knocks, let faith answer the door. And faith plays such an enormous role in your life.
Just think about that for a moment. Fear comes knocking on your door. Fear here. The door opens, and there's faith. Fear's going to go to another door. It's going to keep on moving. When fear knocks, let faith answer the door. It takes real courage thank you. It takes courage to believe that the best is yet to come. It was so difficult for me to go through this last battle because my mother was not there, and when she was for breast cancer, sometimes I would call her, and she would sing sweet gospel songs to me like "By and By," and the last line is that we'll all understand, we'll have a better understanding by and by, and that to me is about having faith. It's like knowing that even during the difficult times, that if you keep your faith and you truly believe, the best is yet to come.
All right, so speaking of the best, I saved the most fun for last. We've got about 2 more minutes, and I thought it'd be a lot of fun to have a little lightning round here. And I took all these specific questions from...
You're turning the tables on me.
Yeah, exactly. Now you get to know what it feels like.
What you got?
Okay, so I'll shout something out, and you tell
I like it. I like your role better.
Exactly. Favorite cocktail?
Oh, a favorite cocktail. Let's see. I do like a good margarita. No salt. I will say that. But you don't want to see me on those. Have you ever heard of a woo-woo?
No.
A woo-woo?
What's
Anybody
it?
know what a woo-woo there? It's cranberry, Grey Goose, and a splash of peach schnapps. You drink enough of those, you're going woo!
Okay, so when you're drinking those, tell me the top picks on
My
your
doctors
playlist.
are not there anyway. Top picks on my playlist. Overcomer by Mandisa. Love me some Mandisa. Overcomer. A song that I wrote with NDRE. A Beautiful Day. Life is a journey, not a destination. There are no mistakes. There's chances we've taken. Lay down your regrets because all we have is now. I love that. A Beautiful Day. I go Motown a lot. Midnight Train in Georgia. But I do have a lot of Motown. I go old school a lot.
Cats or dogs?
You've seen KJ tour. You know my beloved 15-year-old Jack Russell. She can barely hear or see, but she's my baby. She's my 4-legged baby. We had cats growing up, but I'm a dog person.
Dog person. All right, guilty pleasure.
Ooh, I do like to watch me some Scandal. And also, can I say, Housewives of Atlanta?
And we should give a big, we gotta give a big shout out here to Channel 5 WCVB because we've got the biggest morning star in Robin, the biggest evening star in Carrie, so you catch them both here on Channel 5. All right, a couple quick last ones. Biggest fear.
cobwebs. Cobwebs freak me out. I go down to my basement and it's not a good scene. Cobwebs.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, so it's the holiday season, and so we know in the holiday season everyone's got their wish list, and I am certain, without even asking you, that on that list of yours is world peace and a cure for cancer and making sure that Good Morning America stays #1 in the mornings. But if you had to add a fourth and final to that wish list, your wish for all 10,000 Massachusetts women, and there's a whole bunch of men here too, but these 10,000 amazing women who are here, your wish for them as we enter 2014.
2014. My slogan for 2013, all will be serene in 2013. Our family always comes up with little slogans.